when I'm working on these shapes, I'm going to be like, you remember the artist Christo that used to cover everything in the giant fabric?
Yeah.
Imagine your landscape was covered in fabric. What would the shapes look like? So that's kind of another way to study and look at this. I used to wash in all my shadows, and you heard transparent washes, looking for the light and the shadows and everything. He broke me of that, and now I paint them opaquely. One of the things he taught me was to learn to paint, learn to draw with a brush. Get away from any other way of putting down what you're going to paint. I don't know if how many of you have ever watched a David LaFell video. He does still lifes and he's very detailed. That guy paints from his elbow. He locks everything in. He comes like this. Little mark. Little mark. I'm going to start out. I'm going to make probably some little dashes, and just to get an idea of what this thing might look like before I actually commit. And it's off center here a little bit, and I know I'm up here about the middle. Come in here. More forward. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to take those trees will have an average vertical value that is going to be darker than the ones that sit behind it. Okay? So, and it can be just a little different. It doesn't have to be like a whole step or half a step. It could be 1/10 of a step. But they're going to be different. One thing I had to learn was how to slow down and look more and paint less. So I try to do that now. So I just caught myself just where I was going to just go ahead and just knock that in there, but I'm not going to do that. I typically try to capture the scene the first day, and then I give myself up to an hour at home at most to try to finish it. And usually I'm working inside out on the value scale. Got my values. I'm going to mix my next value, my step. And it's going to be a little lighter than the ones I just used. So on here, I'm mixing in a little bit. Either could use white, or in my case, I like to go back in because this steps back. It's going to be a little bluer. Even though you won't be able to see it, it's going to be mixed in anyway. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to add a little bit. So I know down here, that is lighter. But when I come up here, I come back over here and this tree line here. Again, big shapes. I would actually come up here and I would maybe I have a vanishing point here. I would just put these in. So as I'm painting these clouds, down here it might be like this. Up here it's going to be like this. Might be more subtle, but as you come up, you can see how that, see what I'm talking about? And you don't have to make it that overt either, but it gives you a place to start, but you want to kind of subtly make those things happen. So it's got some pretty cool stuff, and I already can see my vision on this painting is that I got this nice little framed area here, which I think will make a really cool streak of light coming through here, somewhere along in here. And I'm going to have this zigzag coming back like the top of a hill, so it'll be a little darker right behind here. All right, here's a question for you. Can you ever be too light in the sky?
Yes.
No. But you can be too dark with the blue. You can be too dark. So one way to have contrast here, I got this nice gorgeous line that's coming across here, is I may want to keep the sky fairly very bright and light. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to put in a couple of indicator marks here.